to wait and see. Done and the weekend's here. I'm up at dawn, gotta make it clear. The hunt is on, I'm feeling that fire. Got FOMO bad and I'm down to the wire. Rolling out the morning light, chasing that beast that's out of sight. Got my spot all picked out right, gonna score that bottle tonight. Oh, but the whiskey tuber's got the first, left me standing feeling cursed. No JD, no Wild Turkey's best. No Russell's 15 left on the shelf. Guess I'll see if I like the rest. Charlie, Jeff, and a special guest, sipping up all the liquid joy. Cast 529, got the last sweet sip. Guess I need to learn to double click and hit subscribe quick. I walk in the store, see a big guy.
Reach out. That could be one of our things we do. You know, we're talking about doing these commercials or these ads or these videos for these different products. I can reach out to a manufacturer that makes a bidet, get one, and you do the video, and sit there and go, oh. I'm riding the bike and you're going.
With the glitter in my hand and burn.
No doubt that.
All right, no, hold on, Torp. It does not say who is in my ass. Oh my God, it does. If you separate it, it does says who's in my ass.
In my ass.
Oh shit.
Who in my ass?
My system is. I'm starting to become immune to fresh. This doesn't even bother me anymore.
That's fresh.
Oh. I'm like, that smells pretty good.
If you can't beat 'em, join 'em too. Sub to Bourbon and Ballz and find something new. So I'll raise my glass to the whiskey crew. Those tubers know just what to do.
All right, here we go.
Hey guys, good evening. Happy pre-4th of July.
Yes. So I don't know if we're on. I mean, we didn't do any sound check, of course, but
We never do.
we were running a little bit tight to the last
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah, we do.
We had a lot of shipping to do.
We did.
So we have a full night tonight because it's end of the month. So we have our Patreon drawing tonight.
Right.
And then we have some other things going on. But if you want to go with your announcements, but before you do that, let me do this. All right, let's see who's here, and I hope you guys are in for a special treat tonight. We have K.Luke on tonight. Once we get through our introductions and everything, we'll get him on here, and then we will get to talk about them this evening. And for those who do not know who K.Luke is, we're fans of him. We have been for a while, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. So I know Dave Vogel was saying just. Mentioned that just a minute ago, but let's do this. So cheers to Dave Volgasang. Thanks for coming on. Stan Save It, thanks for coming on as usual. Patrick Littledew, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. Cast529, Brian, and I would imagine Sean is around there somewhere too. Cheers to both of you for coming on as well. Let's see. There's Sean right there. Let's see here. Tyler Patterson. Oh, cheers. 2 weeks in a row for you, buddy. He's new to our channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so apparently we didn't scare him off enough for him to come back again. So
we didn't do a good enough job.
Yeah, we'll try a better job tonight. Jenny B, cheers. Thanks for coming on. Liza Craig, yes. Cheers to you. Thanks for coming on as well. Keith Glandon, cheers to you, buddy. We'll be seeing each other here soon. Here in about a little over a month. If not sooner. Cheers to you guys, or cheers to you. Whiskey Bill, cheers. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you always. What are you doing?
Pour me a little pour.
Okay. David Tanko, cheers. Thanks for coming on. Matt B, the original, one of the OGs of Bourbon and Ballz as far as viewers, and also Gandy Road. Which, by the way, I told a funny story. I'm not going to repeat it on our live, but as our Google Meet, I didn't know how long I was going to keep that story in, and it was a year and a half in the making. And I finally told Gandy the story. Gandy, you know what I'm talking about. It was pretty hilarious, and I'm glad you were a pretty good sport about it when I told you the story.
Yeah, we were a little worried about it.
So, all right. So, cheers to you, Gandy. Thanks for coming on, Mr. Bortner. Thanks for coming back, and I appreciate you coming on this evening. You're in for a special treat. Let's see here. Oh, good. Sounds good. That's always great.
Yes.
Snow Baboon, cheers. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And guys, do not forget, hashtag K.Luke is the free giveaway tonight. If you want to let them know what they're getting on the free samples.
Yes. The free samples, we have got the toasted barrel bourbon from K.Luke. We got two versions of this. We actually had a bottle. This one is the high rye, low rye blend. This is the 120 proofer. And then we've got, this one is 118.4. And then the fourth bottle or sample is.
Yeah, as a special treat for you all, because you guys can't get it anymore.
Right. The Wilderness Trail Cask 529 pick.
Yes.
So that'll be the hashtag K.Luke.
Yes. Very good. Alan Adams, cheers. Thanks for coming on. Did I tell you what happened with Alan? He won, or Tammy won our one of our prizes for 12 blinded. Remember we had that months ago? Anyways, he emailed me the other day and asked me for the key.
You forgot to give him the key.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. He didn't win that. He won a 4-pack blind sample. That's what it was. Okay. I sent him the key to the 12-pack.
So he didn't know which one he had.
God. So I ended up sending the right one. So hopefully it didn't cost too much time for you to figure out what you guys liked the best. But I'd be interested to see how that blind went, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, nevertheless, let's see here.
Whiskey Bill,
yes. Cheers to you. Let's see here.
David Tanko.
Sandy Jones.
Sandy.
Cheers. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. And let's see here. I think we're getting to the bottom.
Let's see.
Oh, well, there's Tammy right there.
Hey, Tammy.
Yeah.
Mr. Richie J.
Mr. Richie J. Cheers to you. Boy, I saw a pretty cool looking photo today of Richie J. Did you see that? He was rocking it.
He sure was, man.
Man, that was, I mean, that is legendary.
Like Wolfman Jack.
Dude, that was legendary. That was like back in the 80s, I think, or 90s.
Yeah,
probably 90s, maybe late 80s. But man, that was legendary on his Facebook page. That was awesome. I gotta admit. So yeah. So anyways, cheers to you, Mr. Richie J. I would imagine Mrs. Richie J is somewhere in the crowd. So
Zach,
cheers to you, Zach, buddy. Cheers to you. Thanks for coming back. And I think
there's Mrs. Lori J.
Yes, there we go.
Dave Vogel saying thank you.
Thank you. So the premier pours, and I'll get through the super chats here in a little bit to thank everyone. I appreciate the super chat, but it's a big one tonight.
Yeah, it is.
And what we're also going to do, we're going to play along with you all, is we are actually going to blind them after our interview.
Right.
We're going to put them in our little thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to blind all four of them tonight.
Yep.
And we're going to see what we like best.
Yes.
Okay.
We tell them what it is.
It's on the bottom of the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Russell's 13, 15, Jack Daniel's 12 and 14. I know. Yeah. Okay.
So that's our premium pours for tonight for our super chat. So come one, come all. All right. And I think, did we get everybody?
Looks like it.
And I'll get through super chats. I appreciate you guys for definitely super chatting. And again, it is hashtag K.Luke for the free samples, and then $5 for every entry for the premium pour Russell 13, 15, and JD 12 and 14.
Yep.
And then we're going to blind them tonight too.
Right.
All right. But first and foremost, let's get through the announcements. Let's get our guests on the show because a lot of people have been waiting.
Just real quick here. Next week, we have Hartfield and Company. We have 4 samples that they've sent us. They're going to be on next week. And then the following week, I'm on vacation.
That's my announcement.
Well, go ahead. You announce them.
I want to announce this.
Go ahead and announce it.
Okay, so July 17th.
Yes.
You sound a little salty.
I'm good. Go ahead.
You take it. You sound a little.
I'm good.
Okay, well, good. Why you close your book?
No, I'm good. It's all I had.
Okay. Oh, so July 17th, Cats 529 is going to come on. We're going to have it come on our live, not in person, I wish, but and we're going to do a blind by Charles the Rye Guy.
And we all know it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yes.
So, was that your?
That was my thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be punishment pours.
All right. And then I only got a couple of line items here. Patreon drawing is going to be tonight. For the people who are paid Patreon, they will be put into a drawing, which is the random wheels ready to go. It's going to be a premium blend, but it's going to be a premium blind for you all. Mm-hmm. Jeff chose 2. I chose 2 of what we thus far. We did a video. It hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, it'll be released this Saturday.
Will it?
Yep.
Oh, the best of 2025 thus far for our nominees for Bourbon of the Year.
Right.
So Jeff picked 2, and I picked 2 out of that stuff, and we put it in your all's Patreon drawing for.
Well, we picked 2 ryes and 2 bourbons.
Is that what it was?
Because we've got our best ryes so far, and we got our best bourbons.
Okay.
The best bourbons will be released this Saturday. The ryes will probably be Monday.
Oh, as far as video?
As far as videos.
Okay.
But that's what's in the blind.
Okay.
2 ryes and 2 bourbons.
Yeah, and they're very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So all right. So and then depending on how the night goes, it's not a work night.
That's right.
I don't know. We'll see. We may do Google Meets, but we'll see how bad it goes. All right. Without further ado, let's get our special guest in. I'm excited to talk to him myself. So, Jonathan, welcome to Bourbon and Ballz.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
So, I got to tell you, a bunch of our chat, we announced you coming on, I don't know, a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been talking about this specific episode for quite a few weeks. And a lot of people in chat, we all know who you are. At least most of us do. We've had your product and it speaks for itself. But if you could kind of take us back from the beginning as far as K.Luke and what they're all about, where you're out of, and all that stuff, and we'll kind of just flow the conversation from there.
Sure. So kind of a little background history. People always ask, how do you get to starting a brand, right?
Right.
So for me, K.Luke was founded in 2021 by my wife and I, so only a couple years ago now. But my journey's been over 20 years to get to this point. So I started working in restaurants at 16, started studying wine, got sommelier certified through the Quartermaster Sommeliers, the first certification. Just really started learning, and by the time I was 21, really honing in my palate, understanding aromas, flavors. And then I opened up a retail store and really focused on small production wine in South Mississippi where I live. But then in the summer of 2014, thanks, Dave, appreciate it. Summer 2014, I made my first single barrel trip to Kentucky to pick out barrel number 1 for my store, which is a Four Roses barrel. And I was blown away by not only, the whiskey, right? When you first get a chance to try barrels side by side, you can really appreciate the magic that happens from one barrel to another.
Right.
But the people, the place, I got to meet Jim and Eddie Russell and tasted with Jim Rutledge. And it was just an incredible trip. Went to a ton of different distilleries, and I was hooked after that on, like I said, the whiskey, the people, the place. Fast forward that from 2014 over the next decade, before I sold my retail store to do K.Luke full time, I picked 415 single barrels.
Wow.
So I got to taste over 1,600 barrels straight from the barrel, barrel strength, uncut, probably more like 2,000, but somewhere in that realm. With every master distiller, head of quality control, every major person, pretty much every distillery in Kentucky for a decade. So I tell people K.Luke is a new brand, but it has been basically my entire adult life since I was about 18, 19, studying wine and whiskey and honing in my palate to what speaks to me. And when I was picking out barrels, all I ever cared about was what was the most exciting whiskey in the glass. I didn't care about the age or the warehouse or any of the other factors. It was always fun to know that afterward, but for me, it was always what spoke to me in the glass. Mm-hmm. And really, that's our whole premise with K.Luke as well. Kind of how it came about. A couple years ago, I kind of saw the end of picking out barrels the way that I was used to doing it. For me, I would text the master distiller or send him an email like, hey, I'm coming to Kentucky. Great, let's get together, taste a bunch of barrels. And I saw it as the single barrel thing exploded, going to a lot more samples. And a lot of people picking barrels that didn't necessarily care about the bourbon or the end consumer. They were doing it because it's a great revenue stream, right? It's an easy sell. Everyone's going to buy bourbon. And for me, the single barrel program and what the master distillers had in mind when they designed it was finding something special that spoke to you when you're going through a rick house, either thieving whiskey, drilling barrels. Anyway, I saw all that kind of changing. That could be a whole nother episode, but I just saw that kind of going away from what I was used to doing, tasting in person and tasting through, a dozen barrels or so at a time. So we set out to do K.Luke. I knew it was something I loved. I didn't plan to walk away from whiskey, and just decided to make that the rest of my life's passion and continue to move on, to doing this full time. So I sold my store about 1.5 years ago. We are an incredibly small company. It's just my wife and I. And then the name K.Luke is named after our children. So our daughter, Caitlin, and our son, Lucas. So that's where the name comes from. So they're 7 and 12. And just really want to share our passion of family and whiskey with the world. So we're very small. We're only in a handful of markets, which will actually this is a good time to announce we're going to 2 new states this month. So I'll be able to announce that here on the show with you guys.
Nice.
Great.
But, for me, it's kind of all the things I love about whiskey. We only source from Kentucky and Indiana. Love the guys at 21090, Todd and Andy there. Big fans of those guys. They're big fans of the brand. I'm actually traveling up to an event with them in Baltimore here in a couple of weeks. We're doing a couple of cask finished single barrels they picked, release coming up. So.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Yeah, very exciting.
I tell you what, Jonathan, I am impressed. The fact that how old are you guys as far as been in business?
So we founded the company in 21. We actually bought our first product June 30th of 22. So exactly, 3 years ago, plus or minus a couple of days here now.
I would have never thought that. And the reason why I say that is because at least the circles we run into, we know who you are. And that speaks highly of you guys as far as only being around for so many years. Right. But yet, we mentioned K.Luke. We exactly know who you guys are and what you guys are all about. So whatever marketing you're doing, and obviously your juice speaks for itself. But man, what a great job you guys done thus far.
I really appreciate it. I tell people all the time, for me, we're just a husband and wife who both love whiskey, and we get to be on the other side now and crafting something really special. We only source from Kentucky and Indiana. for me, Kentucky bourbon and rye has a certain profile. So does Indiana. But they complement each other really well. They don't overpower each other. For me, Tennessee whiskey, sometimes you get too much minerality. Other states have just made polarizing flavors that for me just didn't blend as well as Kentucky and Indiana. So we only source from those two areas.
Okay.
And I think one of the things that makes K.Luke special, we source from 8 different distilleries currently. So we have a ton of different, mash bills, ages, flavor profiles. Because for me, every batch kind of tells its own story, right? We're not trying to make each silver label barrel strength small batch bourbon taste the same. Everything is done by taste. So we own hundreds of barrels. I rate all the barrels and I break them down. Are they fruit driven? But then is it red fruit? Is it dark fruit? Is it more like ripe, fresh fruit? Or is it more baked fruit? Is it more, is it rich, but is it more like dark chocolate or caramel or toffee? So I have all this rating system that I rate all the barrels because I look at blending like being a chef. You go out, you're not going to go out and raise the cattle and grow your own produce. What you're going to do is go find the best ingredients from all over. And then why do you go back to your favorite restaurant? What that chef and culinary team does with essentially the same ingredients every other restaurant could buy. But the consistency and the balance of flavor in those dishes, that's why you go back to your favorite restaurant. Same thing for us with K.Luke. Every batch tells its own story, its own personality, but we call it a multi-layered whiskey experience. We want you to have this experience where there's all these different things going on in each glass you have of ours. So that's kind of how we got to where we are of being an NDP and blending whiskey. We have no interest in distilling our own distillate.
I was going to ask you if you had any thoughts of doing that yourself.
But, I think that's more and more of a thing. It seems like I've heard from other blenders like they have zero desire. There's so much room in the blending area that they're fine with they're at, and they can basically make their foundation on that as long as obviously they're good at it, right? But the fact that to go to the next level, going distillate, each time I hear interviews like that, I'm beginning to become more of a believer. Like, I'm not so sure that that's necessarily a bad thing anymore. Right. As far as people ask about distillate, I don't know if I really care anymore. As long as the juice is good, it's good.
Right. You look at how many Michelin star chefs are going to go out and raise all their own cattle, catch their own fish, right, grow their own produce. They're going to go out and find it. The people who do it the best.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're sourcing from 8 of the best distilleries out there. So I can never distill whiskey better than, the master distillers that are out there that have been doing it 40, 50, 70 years, right? You look at the legacy distillers, Jimmy and Eddie Russell and Bruce coming on board now, what Fred No's doing, what Brent Elliott's doing, all these great, incredible distilleries. What they're doing at Bardstown Bourbon Company, Green River, all these amazing places out there. And I can never run distillate better than any of them. And I tell people all the time, if somebody gave us $20 million, we're just going to retire. We're not going to go out and start a small distillery, right? It's an incredibly challenging thing to do, unless you're doing something really different, right? Really with unique grains. And there's some really cool stuff happening out there. You look at someone like Alan Bishop, what he's doing, and there's some really special people creating distillate. But for me, we want K.Luke to be a very traditional style of bourbon. Again, I love Four Roses Small Batch Limited Edition. That was kind of my favorite bourbon the last decade. If I was going to get one special bottle a year, that was the one that I got for myself. And that's how we blend K.Luke, right? It's a combination of different distilleries, mash bills, ages. We accomplish all the same things that Brent's able to do with Four Roses Small Batch LE by sourcing from different distilleries, blending it all to taste, giving you all this depth and complexity and richness. So again, if I ran my own distillate, it would really kind of limit us down to having, you're going to have a lot more similarities, but right now we have so much depth in our whiskey. So.
Yeah, you got so much different opportunity as well. You're able to kind of like what we talk about, all the different craft distillers that you're able to pivot, you're able to do things a lot quicker than somebody that is making their own or some of the bigger boys, that gives you the benefit and the edge.
No, so hats off to. So we have a couple of samples in front of us. We would love to try. And again, hashtag K.Luke, guys, if you guys are interested in getting into this free drawing to have a chance to win what we're sipping tonight. But let's go ahead and dive into it.
Yeah. Which would you like for us to start with here? We've got the
batch 4. So I think probably that bottle you have is K.Luke batch 9, the one you have the full bottle of.
Is that 9?
Yes, it's
Yes.
9.
You want to start off with the 9, and then we'll do the barrel strength batch 11, kind of a good comparison side by side. They're completely different profiles, and then we'll get into the toasted.
Sure.
All right, so I've got same one there. You gentlemen are pouring. K.Luke, small batch barrel strength batch 9.
So let me ask, how often do these batches come out?
So every 4 months. So it takes me about every bit of that to. So we have kind of a long process. You know, we own, like I said, hundreds of barrels, and I continuously have to taste our barrels as the seasons change and the flavors change in the whiskey. So I'm constantly tasting them and rewriting my notes. And then from there, when we go to create a blend, I'll create, you know, kind of what makes sense on my, I work off my physical notes and off a spreadsheet that Jennifer's created. Thank goodness she is super organized, and she has a finance background. So she keeps me in line with all the numbers, making sure we pay everybody, they pay us. But she's created spreadsheets that show, you know, every barrel, its age, when a sample was last pulled, all the stats I need to know, where it's stored at. And then I have handwritten notes. So I work off both those things as I'm creating the batches, and I'll create, you know, maybe 10, 12 batches. And then Jennifer and I start to blind taste through them. We don't discuss them until the end. What did she like? What did I like? If there's one of us likes it more than the other, if both of us likes it, it moves on. And that's kind of the start of our process, trying to create these batches. And then from there, we continue to taste them, and I continue to adjust them one barrel at a time. If she really likes a batch and not me, I'm like, okay, what did you like about it? What did I not like about it? What's missing? I'll reblend one barrel, we'll retaste it. And we'll narrow it down to our top 3 or 4. And then how do we know K.Luke is going to be something special? We don't want it to just be good. We want it to be great. You know, if you're going to spend, you know, $115, you know, plus or minus a few dollars, depending on what market you're in, on our bottles, right, we want to be something that can stand up to any great bourbon out there. So we run blind tastings against what we consider the best stylistic bourbon in our categories. And then we taste them. If we don't win, it's like, okay, the winning bourbon, or maybe 1 or 2, what made those stand out? Why did we pick those? Was it on nose, up front, mid palate, back end? I look for those barrels, I readjust, we reblend, we retaste. So it's a very long process. So,
I mean, you guys are almost like a micro Bardstown.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, at Bardstown, right, they do it by committee. So the different members of the team will make different blends. They taste them. It's not just Steve McNally saying, hey, this is what I think we should do. They have an incredible, talented team of palates there. You know, Dan Calloway, I mean, incredible staff. We do the same thing by committee, but it's just the 2 of us. Very similar approach.
Yeah.
So this one here, I've had this for a minute. And this was, I think, one of our viewers, he had gotten on the Gandy.
Yeah, we got that last year when we went down for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. We found it in a liquor store down there.
We sure did, and I saw that. I'm like, oh, I got to get this. And then another viewer, and this all ties in with, you know, viewers are who, you know, are your customers, right? It ties into another viewer that we have on here, Brian and Shauna. They had that. They had the rye. Oh my God, that was great. Yeah, that was the bat. They had like 15 different blind samples, and that was the best of the bunch, in my opinion. I think Ashley in the chat also agrees.
Yeah, it was like the Easter Advent box or something. Yeah,
that's what. And they had the K.Luke. It was the rye. It was freaking fantastic. Yeah. And it makes me want to go out and get it, and I haven't found it yet. But then again, we are here in Ohio, so I don't think you guys distribute in Ohio. So I go across the river to Party Source in Kentucky to find you guys, right?
Yeah, Party Source is they're huge fans of what we do, big supporters. So they try to make sure, like if we're running low on a batch with our Kentucky Sugar, they try to buy enough to bridge over to the next release. So they try to always keep us on the shelf. I know last time I checked, they had a few bottles of, like the batch 4 toasted rye left, a few bottles of the batch 11 and the batch 4 toasted bourbon we're tasting tonight, a little bit of our Keenan Cab Reserve. And then we actually just bottled our new releases on Monday. So it'll be a couple weeks, those will be hitting the market. That'll be our batch 5 toasted barrel rye. Ooh, and starting with the batch 5, we're actually going to only once a year bottling on that one. So it's going to be a much shorter supply. Our rye has gotten some big praise. You know, rye is always a hit and miss with people. I think consumers are still nervous with rye. When I do tastings, when I'm out in the market with consumer tastings, which I love to do, when I tell people we're going to pour them a rye, if I hear anything negative, it's one of two things. Ask them, well, what don't you like about rye that you tried? If they've had Indiana rye they didn't like, it's either too or minty or herbaceous or a lot of dill notes to it. Or they've had Kentucky rye that were very spicy, you know, like sucking all the moisture out of your mouth, just very spice laden, you know, kind of heavy on the back end.
Right.
And we didn't want either one of those things, right? So I talk about we blend from Kentucky and Indiana, and even though we're not tasting the rye tonight, because we're in between releases, like I said, till this new one comes out. Jennifer wasn't a big lover of a lot of the ryes I picked over the years, and the ryes that she really enjoyed that I had picked were things like Kentucky Peerless, a little bit softer, a little bit more fruit driven. So that's what I set out to blend, a rye in that style. So again, blending from Indiana and Kentucky. When I'm tasting through Indiana barrels, I'm looking for more like candied lemon peel, orange peel, nice citrus, a little floral like honeysuckle. That's on the Indiana on the front end. And then the back end, you get the Kentucky, dark chocolate, some richness, subtle layers of spice. And then we finish that in Kelvin Cooperage barrels for about 3 months. And they're one-time used. We use once we dump out our toasted bourbon, we take those one-time used barrels and we age our rye in there. So just very soft, half medium toast, half heavy toast, just enough to kind of round it out, bring all those flavors together. So very subtle toasted profile in that rye. And it just really brings it all together and makes a really elegant style, more of a bourbon drinker's rye.
Sure. Tom Morrow obviously is coming in to say hello real quick. Obviously, that's another fan. You guys got plenty of fans in a lot of places. Yeah, so I already know. We already know what this tastes like. We already know that it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, half the bottle's gone.
The nose is phenomenal.
And this is just one of these premium. There's one of these premium pours. So I kind of slowly sip mine just because, you know, to me this is one of those premium ones that I'll go to like almost on a weekend or a celebratory kind of moment for us. Granted, I'm sure you would love us for doing the daily sippers, but that's how high value we hold K.Luke.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And this batch 9 is a little bit different than some of the batches before and after it. So I tell people batch 9, there's a when I was working on this batch, it needed something more on the back end. Like it needed a little bit more richness, it needed a little bit more depth to it. And around this time, we had some single barrels aged over 10 years from Kentucky that we released, one on Sealbox online and one just for the state of Louisiana. And, you know, it's always hard. We don't do a whole lot of those single barrels. If you can see over here above you, the blue label, we only do them on slight occasion because for me, K.Luke is really about the blending and my understanding, again, of that chef's approach to blending something special.
Gotcha.
We had this set of barrels I've been putting aside for single barrel releases. And on batch 9, I just knew that flavor profile that was in some of these barrels I put aside to be these single barrels was what we needed. So I blended one of those barrels into it. So I tell people, if you had the 10-year Kentucky release that we did in the fall, the one on Sealbox or the one in Louisiana, it's one of those sister barrels in here. And that's what gives us that big back end richness to it. Again, it just kind of stands out from the batch 8 and the batch 10 that came before and after. And it'll be quite a bit different than batch 11. If you guys want to try them side by side, you can really kind of see the style difference.
I'm going to pour some more.
So this is the batch 11, 120 proof.
So while Jeff does that, quick question in chat. If you guys have questions, please identify it by saying question first, and I'll be able to catch it in the chat. I gotta imagine there's probably right now there's nowhere to come see you. Would that be an accurate statement? And then are there any future plans for that?
That's correct. So since I sold my store here in Mississippi on the Gulf Coast, we have no brick and mortar facility. So to be honest, for me, you know, after 20 years of being in retail and working every single holiday and, you know, 85 plus hours a week, we don't plan to do a brick and mortar.
Okay.
If you travel to Bardstown Bourbon Company, they do keep our products both behind the bar, which I tell you, but if you haven't been there, it's an amazing property. The restaurant's incredible. The rare whiskey collection. Just to see the facility, I mean, it's massive operation, but they pay attention to every detail along the way.
Yeah,
and you can buy our bottles in the gift shop there.
Oh yeah, I've always said that if Apple ever built a whiskey brand, it'd be Bardstown.
Yeah,
because it's almost Apple-esque when you go in there. It's minimal, it's modern, it's very detailed, like you said. So you know they got their stuff going on. For sure. There's a question In the chat, I will go ahead and highlight. Michael Borner asks, "What's your favorite? What has been your favorite batch?"
So I get this question every event that I do, and I'm going to tell you the same answer I always tell people. So that's like asking if I like Caitlin or Lucas better. Which, if you ask my kids, they'll tell you, with Luke getting all the letters, clearly it's Lucas.
Oh, geez.
If you ask Caitlin, but for me, kind of one of the special things about K.Luke is it depends what you're in the mood for. Obviously, we run blind tastings of our own products all the time, and depending on what I'm in the mood for, if I want something softer, the lower proof batches, the more fruit driven always speak to me. Batch 3, batch 7. If I want something more spice driven, the early batches, batch 1 and 2.
Okay.
Again, this batch 9 we're tasting tonight. If I want something more reminiscent of like that bigger oak profile, I think of like Heaven Hill, Knob Creek. Batch 9 reminds me of those. 11 has got like this more like caramel cream and toffee. It really just depends on the mood that you're in. We run blinds all the time, and I tell people we do tastings. A lot of times I'll do seminars called the Spirit of Blending. We'll run multiple batches side by side, and I always tell the room, if there's 50 people, we taste say 4 barrel strength batches. If the same 50 people, if we taste them back to back 3 nights in a row, I guarantee people they would not pick the same one over and over again because based on what you ate or what you're in the mood for.
No, you're great. It's whatever you ate that day, and you're exactly correct. This one that we're getting to now, definitely softer. It's not as spice forward, at least I don't think.
And the proof's a little higher, right? So it kind of shows you that
I lost that one.
Proof is not indicative of flavor. People always ask, how do we figure out the proof in our batches? So for me, proof is just another stat, and it doesn't matter till after the fact. So I love bourbon that's 115 plus or minus, 5 points. And if you notice, all of our stuff lands in that realm, 115 plus or minus a few points. And I never look at proof when I'm blending. I look at flavor profile, and just naturally, as we're adjusting them by flavor, the proof kind of settles down in that 115 to 120 realm. Jennifer historically has been a little bit lower in proof. So she'll argue with me on some of these batches, like this one on batch 11, coming in at 120 even. She'll be like, "Are you sure you got the proof right? Because I can't believe this is coming in at 120. And I'm like, "I assure you, it's going to come in right around 120. And again, when you focus on flavor and you don't worry about age or mash bill or certain distillery, I think you just end up with a much more special product if you're able to source and have so much depth like we do.
Yeah, I think the structure of this bourbon, the way it's constructed, it's got some different layers going on. It's very soft. So 120, again, to your point, concentrate on the experience rather than trying to guess all the time, right? There is a question. 21090 asks, can you give us a preview of the upcoming batch 12 of the Toasted Rye batch 5 coming out later this month?
Yeah, so super excited. Like I said, those were balled on Monday, so we're just lining up with all of our distributors and partners. So for me, batch 12, it's going to come in a little softer in proof. It's coming in 117 and change, but it's got just a really big creamy mouthfeel, like a lot of like liquid dates and even more of like the caramel toffee. It's got some fruit profile in there. I just think it's really silky and round, really mouth coating. And I can tell you, I cannot wait for people to try the batch 5 rye. Our batch 3 rye, we were the Barley Corn Award. We got double gold, 97 points. It was the best rye of fall. We almost won rye of the year.
Wow. And
then our batch 4 Toasted Rye, the last release, in the Ascot Awards, we made it all the way to the final round for rye of the year. So got a lot of love in the last 2 batches of rye. And I think this batch 5, there's a ton of like relayed honey and just mouth coating richness to it that I think people can be really excited about. I can't wait to get it out and have people like Todd and Andy from 21090s hear their thoughts and all the rest of you guys out there.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Patrick Littledew asks, what typical age for K.Luke batches?
So, we don't disclose the age, and we went back and forth in the beginning, and we can never disclose the distilleries because of NDAs. And I was originally going to list out the mash bills and the ages and percentage of each one, but we decided against it. not that we have anything to hide behind. We've got some amazing, amazing ages, all going all the way to double digits. Again, it's for us to focus on flavor.
Right.
But once you put an age on the bottle, I feel like that's all people focus on, right? Well, if this batch has more of this age, it's got to be better. Or if it's got more of, maybe this mash bill, I think it's going to be this distillery. If you know it's 13% rye, it can only be so much. So many distilleries run 13% rye, right? So
right.
I think if you have the stats, people focus on that too much. And granted, it'd make my life a lot easier if we put the ages, because I think people would be surprised to see compared to some of the other things they really enjoy out there. So I always tell people, if you want to know our average age, if you know the age of something like Blanton's, Booker's, we're a couple years older than that in the average age. But for me, if I want to be able to blend in something a little bit younger, I want to be able to blend that in if it's got some vibrancy or fresh fruit or tones to it. And I don't want to be limited and have to say, well, if we wanted to age date this bottle and now all of a sudden it becomes 7 years because we blended in one barrel of that, right? Because it had the flavor profile we needed. Also, just because you have double-digit age bourbon doesn't mean it's good. Jennifer is very sensitive, especially to a lot of whiskeys above, especially start looking above 12 years of age. When they start picking a lot of dustiness to them and a lot of more woodsy oak profile, and you lose the more delicate tones, the fruit, the brightness. She has no interest in whiskey that has that, right? So it's all about finding this beautiful balance of what we're doing. And again, we could put out stuff that was all, 10-year plus or 9-year, but then I think it's a disservice to what you end up with in the glass based off of what we have access to as far as flavors go and our tasting process. So,
well, Jeff, if you remember when we were blending, and I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, but when we were blending McBrayer,
right,
we had the option to go with 8-year barrels, and we chose not to.
Right,
we went with 5- and 6-year-old barrels because they,
yeah.
to Jonathan's point is that I actually kind of like your answer is the fact that you don't want to put it on there because you want people just to focus on the taste. I actually love that answer. As simplistic it may sound and maybe cliche sometimes, I think that's a great answer. To that question. So
yeah, because like you said, you got people that's what they go looking for. They look for those 10, 12, 15-year-old age stated bourbons and think that they're getting the best they can get, when in reality they're not. I mean, we've had some higher aged bourbons and they ain't been very good.
And you can also correlate that to price too. People think that a $200 bottle should taste like a $200 bottle, and I guarantee you we've all done it. We've all been burnt where we bought that $200 bottle and we're like, oh, I'm still pissed. And it's been over a year where I bought it, and I won't call them out here. And we'll never have them on. But the point is, you focus on the taste, and I think that's a great answer. As simple as it sounds, I think that's a great answer. Gandy Road has a question, and I'm going to add to it. He's asking whether there will be a new Keenan batch this year. If so, when will it release? And I've got to ask you on top of that, what's a Keenan batch? But go ahead.
Yeah, so let me grab one down here from the shelf to show you guys. So, well, good news and bad news to the answer to your question, Gandy. Unfortunately, there will not be one released this year. So the little bit that's left on the market is going to do it. But the reason being is we just released our cast finish single barrel program. And again, it's only my wife and I. We have a national sales guy that helps us out with working with distributors. But we can only do so much. And as Jennifer reminds me all the time, looking at our production calendar in our office, she's like, you can't overcommit. There's only so much time in the day. Part of starting K.Luke is a double-edged thing for me, right? It's my love of whiskey, but it's also, being in retail. Like I said, I worked every holiday. I was never home. With kids being 8, being almost 8 and almost 13 now in the next month or two, I really want to spend more time at home with Caitlin, Lucas, and Jennifer. For 20 years, I had been home, very seldom. So we can only do so much being a small company. So as much as it pains me not to do another release of the Keenan Cabernet, I just had to cut that out to do this special project with these cask finished barrels. So what this is, Michael Keenan's a good friend. His family has owned a winery up on Spring Mountain in Napa Valley for 50 years.
Wow. And
Michael is an incredible individual. Not only does he make world-class wine, he loves bourbon. He loves cigars. His son is heavily involved in the winery now, which become the 3rd generation. So an incredible guy. And this Keenan Cab Reserve has been a limited release we've done the last 2 years in fall going into Christmas. And it's my tribute to my wine background, you know, my love, kind of my homage to studying wine for such a long time. We got some Michael Keenan's Reserve Cab barrels, and we created a special custom batch to go in these Cabernet barrels that we aged at Bardstown Bourbon Company. The first one was for a year. The second one was for 8 months. And how do we figure out the right whiskeys go in there, right? I only know how to do it the hard way, what I consider the right way, which is do it by taste. So if you read the back of the label, it says 6 months or so, because I really wasn't sure how long we wanted to age it for. So basically, I went back to my notes. I'm like, okay, you know, I know we need to go a little bit spicier style whiskey. Typically in our barrel strength blends, on a 10-barrel blend, which is like what these batches are we're tasting tonight, we run about 70 or 80% low rye and a couple barrels of high rye. So, you know, like on batch, these later batches, we might only have 1, 2, or 3 barrels of high rye. So I look at the Four Roses or MGP kind of standards of high rye, low rye, which I know not everyone agrees with, but for me, that's how I grew up, loving Four Roses. So 21% rye and less is going to be low rye mash bill. So we run anywhere from 10 to 21% rye. Anything 22% to 36% is high rye mash bill. So we're typically about 80% low rye to a little higher, you know, a couple barrels of high rye. And the Keenan, I kind of blended a little bit spicier style, just a different profile I normally went for, because I knew that wine was going to bring sweetness and richness, and I need to have the whiskey bill stand up to it. So I created a bunch of blends. We opened up a bottle of Keenan Cab Reserve. We put a little bit of wine in the whiskey blends, let them oxidize. We blind taste through them multiple times, picked out our favorite. Those are the barrels of bourbon we sent over to Bardstown to age in these wine casks. And then we taste them at 3 months and every month after that to find the right balance of wine and whiskey in there. So,
so
kind of a long answer to the.
No, that's a great answer. That's a great answer. So you had mentioned you were going to announce, and that got me to my question. I was sitting there thinking, as far as new states that you're shipping to now, where all do you ship so our viewers can know? And then also price point, they kind of stay the same?
So for the most part, you know, most of our flagships in the, like the silver label, the barrel strength bourbon, toasted bourbon, toasted rye, those are all going to be in that, you know, 115, 120-ish price range retail. The Keenan's a little bit more. It's about 140. Again, it's a limited release. It was expensive to get the barrels, get them shipped, and find the right whiskey, plus all the extra time of laying them down and sampling them. But there are a handful of bottles left on seal box right now. I think they've got, you know, maybe a half a dozen bottles. So if somebody wants a Keenan Cab Reserve, seal box would be your answer right now. Like I said, the Party Source, there's still a little bit of inventory up in Kentucky. You might find a few here and there on the markets, but it's going to get much more scarce as the year wears on. The little bit of good news about it is, if you look at the numbers on our website and you look at what the yield was, the math doesn't quite add up. So Michael Keenan ages his Reserve Cab in half French oak barrels and half American oak. We did the same thing. We took a 10-barrel blend of whiskey with batch 2. We aged in 8 wine barrels, 4 French oak, 4 American oak. But when Jennifer and I were tasting through them, there was one of each that just kind of had its own personality and stood out. So we bottled this batch 2 after 8 months. I actually left 1 barrel of each laid down for continual aging. And we're going to release those later on this year in the fall. They're going to be K.Luke Keenan Cab Reserve cast finished barrels, 1 French oak, one's going to be American oak. So you can appreciate how different stylistically that used oak made on those whiskeys.
Wow. Well, folks, when he was explaining that, whatever you had at Sealbox, you have one less. I just ordered one.
All right. Well, I can't wait to hear what you think.
That's how quick it happened. Seriously.
And it's going to be really cool. I'm going to try to do some events with places that maybe on-premise counts that have all 3 of them, where we can run the blend, and then we can do the French oak and American oak single barrels. I'm not really sure yet how we're going to divide those up. Everybody wants some of them, so we're probably going to set them out to a couple different markets, just small allotments of cases. It's kind of a limited release later on this year of extended age, Keenan Cab Reserve. Like I said, French oak or American oak independently instead of blended back together. So
as far as where you can ship, I'd imagine that's based on where Sealbox can ship, things like that, right?
Yeah, so Sealbox right now just has a couple bottles of the Keenan Cab Reserve left.
Yeah, I noticed. Well, they're sold out of everything else.
Yeah. Typically, you can find our stuff on Sealbox, on Shared Pour. I know Taste Select Repeat had a little bit left of our batch 3 toasted bourbon. So the toasted bourbon, we only bottle twice a year, every 6 months. So it is a little bit more seasonal. The rye, we're going to once a year. And And then the barrel strength is every 4 months. But you can always find our stuff on seal box, shared pour. Actually, with the new batches, we're going to have inventory on Bourbon Outfitters also.
Oh, nice.
So you'll see all that pop up if you go online. If you follow us on K.Luke Whiskey Company on our Facebook page, on our Instagram. If you go to our webpage, we'll let you know when products are going to be available at different places. I saw BK mentioned on there. We also have a kind of a K.Luke fan page that a group out of Louisiana started called K.Luke Crew. You can follow us on there, especially if you're looking for trying to track down some of our cast finished single barrels. That's a great place to find them. And then so the states we're in, I think was the original question is what states are we in? So
yeah, sure. No, that's fine. You're good.
We're in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Wyoming. Those are the 6 current states.
Okay.
But as of July 1st, we're getting ready to launch in Indiana and Texas. So starting with the new batches, you'll be able to find us in Indiana and Texas.
What's amazing about that, unless I missed it, you didn't mention any Eastern Seaboard states, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So
yet you have 21090 on here, right? Who is right? I'm just saying that's how far you're reaching, and you don't even freaking distribute to them.
Yeah, so 21090. So Todd and Andy have been big supporters since the first batch they tried. Maybe it was batch 3 or 4. They've been huge fans. So they actually traveled out to Bardstown Bourbon Company with me a month ago and picked a couple of cast finished single barrels.
Okay.
So I'm actually
look at those bottles.
Let me see if I can find one of those for you up here.
Jeez, oh please. Look at that.
So this is one of their single barrels. We're actually going to debut these live. I'm flying to Baltimore, and we'll have it posted on our webpage tonight or in the morning. So that's going to be one of the 21090 hand select barrels. And we're actually doing a live whiskey festival in Baltimore, Old Line Distillery on the 19th. I'm going to fly up there. I've actually never been to Baltimore, so pretty excited to go hang out with those guys and release their cast finished products, and then we'll have tasting of the new batches as well. So
and they do some damn good barrel picks. I have a few of them in here already.
That's their Rock the Rick House event. Is that what that's called?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, we had their other ones, and I trust their palates. They've done a fantastic job.
Well, that Corbin Cash
Corbin Cash is freaking phenomenal. Jeez, oh, Peasel. But anyways, enough of that. Gandy has a question. Any plans on doing a weeder?
So, I love weeded bourbon and weeded whiskey both, especially in higher proofs. I think for me in a wheat, you've got to get above 110 proof. If not, they're all very soft, approachable, right? Why do people love Maker's Mark? Why is it one of the biggest brands in the world? It's soft, it's easy drinking, it hits most people's palate. But for me in a wheat, I like above 110 proof. If you look back at my track record, stuff I picked out from my retail store before I sold it, they were all, above that 110 realm where they had more richness. And for me, if you get a high proof wheat, you get some nice candy spice tones in there that you just don't get at the lower proofs. I just have not been able to find, because for me, I need to find both wheat from Kentucky and Indiana, and I just have not found the quality and the age and the profile of what I'm looking for to be able to do it. So as much as I would love to have a wheat, I can't just put it out for the sake of putting it out until I find the right barrels.
So in the words of the Anchorman, you're saying there's a chance.
There's definitely a chance.
All right.
That was either that or Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's
is that what it was?
That was a Dumb and Dumber, yeah.
Oh, my bad. That was my bad. You're right.
Years,
You're right. Yeah. Sorry. So you're saying there's a chance. Sorry, I get some of those one-liners mixed up sometimes. Very cool. So what are we on to now?
Well, I just poured us the toasted barrel. This is the one that's 118.4, batch 4.
Nice.
All right. So on to toasted.
Yeah. What can you tell us about this one?
So for me, and this kind of leads into our cast finish program too, kind of another step from this. So for me, toasted products are really hit and miss, right? If you cut too much proof, you just get the barrel influence in the back end, right? You don't get the traditional, what we love about great bourbon. If you over extract and you get too much wood, again, all you taste is wood. You don't get the right balance. So for me, when we were going to do toasted products, it was all about finding the right core whiskey to go in the blend and then finding the right barrels to work with. So starting with our batch 3 toasted, we were able to work with Kelvin Cooperage, which I'm super excited about. I love their barrels. I love the profile they add. We were on a wait list for 2 years with Kelvin. And starting with our batch 3, followed up with batch 4, everything is Kelvin Cooperage. So batch 4 is a 10-barrel blend of bourbon. And then when you look at the Angel share and the yield, it was enough to fill up 7 Kelvin barrels. 5 of those were medium toast, no additional char. And then the last 2 were heavy toast, no additional char, aged for 10 weeks. So why did we not put any more char? You know, I didn't want to add any more oak tones, more wood spice. I wanted to add some sweetness from the toast. You know, what I love about toasting wood is you get this like creme brulee and some toasted marshmallow and just kind of like this candied wood tone to it if you get the right balance. And that was really our goal, was to have sweet and spicy kind of this roller coaster with this whiskey, but still get some beautiful red fruit mid palate that you get from our bourbons.
This is definitely a different profile as far as aroma wise than what I remember on the previous 2 pours, even though those were different in itself. But this was definitely a little bit farther out there, as far as profile was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I get that.
Yeah, so for me, you know, it's about, like I said, having some of that red fruit and some sweetness to it. But you know, you do get some of those. You definitely get the toasted tones, right? Like a, you know, sweet potato creme brulee with like that kind of toasted brown sugar crust on top.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of that kind of fresh cut wood tones to it. You get some of that wood spice. You get a little bit of like fatty richness that I like in double oak bourbons, which can get carried away really quick.
Yeah, I can.
Again, you get these subtle tones to it as well, where it's not just all wood tones. You get this nice balance of sweet and spice, which for me keeps drawing you back in for more. And the next thing you know, you drink, you know, way more than you planned on. You're like, wait a minute, what happened here?
I can't even get into the drink yet. I can't get my nose out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big toasted guy, but I think if I were, I could see this one.
That is very good. I like that one.
So I said toast can get carried away really quick. If you cut to proof or if you extend it way too long, I hear people, you know, going and toast 6, 7, 8 months, you know, in medium or heavy toast. And I'm like, that's so much time and so much wood. Like you'll notice in our cask finish program, we did some extended age in Kelvin barrels, but they're used barrels. We took our batch 3 toasted bourbon, when we dumped it out, I took 3 of those medium toasted barrels. I created a custom batch of bourbon, and then I secondary aged it for 8 months. But they were one-time use, so the toast was much more refined, dialed back. So the 8 months adds this beautiful creaminess and texture to the whiskey without over oaking it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about finding the balance. You know, we taste stuff all the time, and it's all about trying to find when's the sweet spot, you know, in each whiskey. And again, I think that core whiskey that goes into something like a toasted product or a wine barrel finish is super important.
But you definitely got something for everybody. That, I mean, that's the thing, right? You know, whether, you know, you're into the toasted, whether, you know, you're into the, you know,
the rye or
the rye, right. So, you know, and it's high quality. So.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this, the toasted one. I mean, I do. I love these other ones, but I'm
more of a toasted guy.
I'm more of a toasted, more of a double oak, sometimes a double oak. So I'm really digging this one.
You're waiting for someone to come out with like a triple oak, aren't you?
Well, I mean,
triple cast, but still.
Yeah.
Mine and Green does that, but anyways.
Yeah.
Yes, I said if anybody out there nationwide that's in the state we don't distribute in is looking for toasted bourbon, batch 5 won't come out until November, you know, around Thanksgiving. But if you want to pick up some of the batch 3, tasteselectrepeat.com has some of our batch 3 toasted bourbon left. That's the only online retailer that has any availability right now for anybody out there looking for it.
Taste, select, repeat.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and then like I said, you're starting to see these people that follow us. And again, they're very limited because we just didn't have tons of them. You're starting to see all these different cast finish things popping up. Like, you know, here, for example, this is this was picked by a store called Cowboy Joe's Liquor Barn in Evanston, Wyoming. This is a Sauterne finish cask rye. So like, this is the only one of these in the country that we did. So just like the Keenan Cab, we created custom black batches of both bourbon and rye, and then we laid them down Same thing, you know, I have, I'm a huge wine drinker, so I have, you know, a ton of wine. We poured in some different wine out, you know, some Sauternes. I've got Armagnac up here on my back bar and Cognac. And we blended some of those different products into these different core whiskeys to find the right whiskey that stood up to all of them the best. And then we debuted this cask finish program, very limited. We only had 13 barrels nationwide. So when you see these, because I had a lot of people asking, like, wait a minute, I don't see these in my market. So when you see these new labels, that's what those are. That's our cask finish single barrel program.
Okay.
And we only had a couple for each market. But again, they're all very unique, very special barrels. And people traveled up to Bardstown Bourbon Company with me. We tasted through all of them blind because I wanted people to pick it based off of what was exciting, what was different, what spoke to them. Because, you know, the person that picked maybe a Kelvin picked it because they wanted a different mouthfeel, a different texture. And the person that picked cognac cask wanted something more subtle and layered compared to something like Pinot de Chiron or Sauternes where it had some sweetness or fruit profile. So it's a really cool program for us. Really something special out there in the market. So
we asked this question and everybody, you know, you got your own stuff. You got your own daily drinkers. I know you mentioned you liked Four Roses. I mean, what would be your other go-to that is not your brand?
So, you know, again, for me, I'm kind of a unique spot. So if you see the rest of my back bar here at my house. So
it's all about some dark arts on there. Is that what I see?
Well, I've got tons of Four Roses. Wild Turkey is another one of my favorites. So this is all barrels I picked, you know, different stuff. Belle Meade, back in the day, I picked a bunch of those. A ton of Peerless barrels, a ton of stuff from Starlight. You got to pick a bunch of barrels from Drew at Willett. I mean, so for me, again, I'm in a little bit of a unique place here, but I love drinking those special single barrels I picked out. But definitely Four Roses, Wild Turkey. As far as legacy distilleries, some of my favorites. More modern day, you know, stuff like Peerless. If I want something unique cask finish, I really enjoy some of the stuff Starlight's doing. But for me, there's a whiskey and a plate for every time and place. It's like food, it's like wine, right?
Right.
Why have the same thing back to back? Now, of course, if you're having K.Luke back to back, we appreciate you going through a variety of batches. But
yeah, I'm going to have you talk to my wife because she doesn't understand why I've got 500 bottles of bourbon. Because you just, you know.
One of the other things, because again, I drink a lot of wine and I have a spoiled wine palate. You know, when you open up a $100 plus bottle of wine, it's a one-time experience, right?
Right.
Sure.
If it's just you and your wife or a couple of friends, it's a one-time deal. For me, all these great whiskeys, you know, you can enjoy them over and over again based on what you're in the mood for. You know, what if you're having a cigar, what you had for dinner, and you know, you're going to have them for the most part. You know, you're drinking bourbon an ounce and a half at a time. That's 17 to 25 different experiences.
Right.
And they don't go bad for the most part. So for me, that's one of the great things about opening up a $100 bottle of whiskey rather than a $100 bottle of wine is it's so many experiences.
Yeah, because my wife will, you know, she'll open up a $70, $80 bottle of wine. She doesn't finish it, you know, and then like 2 or 3 days later, it's rancid and you have to dump it. That's why it's like, you know, I can open up a bottle of bourbon and just, they could sit there for a year.
Yeah.
And I go back to it, and it's just as good as it was, or better sometimes than when I first drank it. Yeah.
So before we,
great bourbon, you know, is the life expectancy so much longer. And again, it's really cool for people to become big fans of our stuff, and they start trying the batches side by side. Because you know, first people were like, "Well, why would I buy multiple batches of your barrel strength? They're going to be the same."
Right.
And now that people have been tasting them, they trust us and what we're doing with the brand. And I always tell people, like, if you're concerned about the age, when you taste K.Luke, does it taste young? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, okay, well, it's not on the young side. It's well aged, but again, it's about finding those special barrels. And again, when you start trying them side by side, you can really appreciate the flavors, different stylistically between the batches. So we're really proud of what we've been able to do with the brand in the first 3 years.
So real quick here before we let you go, is that future products, right? You mentioned some of that's coming out in the late fall. Anything else you care to share that would get these viewers anticipated for maybe 2026 or something like that you're working on now?
Well, I try not to get myself too far out there to get myself in trouble with the calendar, but the cask finish single barrel thing is something really exciting. We're planning to do that twice a year. And again, we're looking at different casks, you know, for the next release, so they won't always be the same. So really kind of a cool, special way to play with it. down the road, I plan to do a cigar batch, and kind of having these different batches gets me toward that, because there will be no Amberana. It will be very traditional, Nancy Fraley style, old school, old world casks, right? And I don't know yet what those casks are, because I've got to play with these single barrel releases now and start figuring out, is it going to be Pinot de Chiron or Pedro Jimenez? Is it Armagnac? Is it Cognac? I honestly have no idea. I gotta work on it and taste it. It'll probably take me a year to figure out what it's going to be. Oh, dude, I'm telling you do that. I can't wait. I was gonna follow up with a cigar batch, whether or not you had that in your vault as far as things to do. So that's good to hear. Yeah, I love cigars. So again, trying to find something very complementary to a variety of cigars.
Sure.
And I think old world casks is definitely the way to go. Trying to find that right balance, so of fruit to richness to spice to oily mouthfeel, something that's going to hold up to a variety of different styles of cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you also have to watch, if you're not going to go that Armagnac style, because sometimes that can get too much flavor, I guess.
You end up losing the bourbon.
You end up losing the bourbon with it.
Right.
I know there are some out there that actually will age tobacco leaves in barrels and then transfer the bourbon into that barrel.
I like to have something in between.
Yeah. Some of it you don't want so ashy, and some of it you don't want so much of the other. But yeah, there's a fine balance.
There's no longer a bourbon.
Right. There's a fine balance with it.
In my mind. So.
But if you get too polarized in one way or another on the finishes, right, and you can't taste, whether it be toasted barrel or wine finish, if you don't know you're drinking bourbon, you can't taste the core whiskey. I tell people all the time, we didn't just throw random barrels in there. We spent a lot of time building the right core whiskey to complement those casks and have those casks complement the whiskey. So for us, it's all about finding the right balance. So the cask finish program, I think that 3 to 4 month window has been kind of a sweet spot for us. But again, we do everything to taste. And it was really cool to have people come up to Bardstown and spend the day in the rick house, or a couple of days in the rick house, drilling our barrels and thieving whiskey out of them. Because nobody hated any barrel, nobody disliked anything when they tasted, but everybody kind of went to a style that spoke to them. Whether it was more fruit profile like the Pinot de Chiron, or more richness with the Kelvins, Armagnac, you kind of pick some more of that kind of like earthy fruit to it. And it was really cool to see everyone's rating, because I had everybody give me their notes from every barrel they tasted, kind of what their thoughts were. It was really neat to see the barrels everybody enjoyed and what their final choices were. And again, that's the beauty of picking something blind. Just pick it off what speaks to you. What is it that you want to go home and drink? If it's the last whiskey you get to drink, that's how you should be picking your barrels. That's why I pick my barrels. That's why I blend K.Luke. If it's the last product I get to drink, and this is it, that's how important it is.
Yeah.
So Gandy has a question. When blending, what is the best way to tame down a blend that gets too spicy / hot? Of course, he's asking for a friend. He is. I wouldn't call him a master blender. You know what? I wouldn't even call him a blender. I would call him a guy who puts two things together and it comes up something. But poor guy, I know he tries, and I'm just messing with him. He does a good job. But anyways, to that question, what do you say?
So you can appreciate how hard it is, right? It's like I tell people, it's like cooking. I love to cook, but cooking commercially is like the worst thing ever. My wife and I had a restaurant for a couple of years also. And if I had to fill in the kitchen, because again, I cook, almost every day, it is not the same as cooking commercially, running the same thing consistently compared to cooking at home, which I absolutely love to do. Pouring a glass of wine or a glass of whiskey. It's kind of the same thing with blending. You look at things on paper, and I learned this early on with Chris Morris at Woodford Reserve, probably 10 years ago now. When you do a Woodford, it's not a single barrel. It's a 2-barrel blend. And you taste 3 barrels, you try A and B together, B and C, A and C. And I remember asking Chris early on, the first time we did it, I'm like, why in this blend do I taste nothing that I got out of A or C? This blend is totally different than both of them. Or 1 barrel overwhelms. So you could just consistently have to taste over and over again and find the right profiles and match up to each other. If you've got something that's spicy, hot, is it a proof issue? Is it just wood spice? Is it rye spice? Then trying to find something maybe more fruit driven or lower in proof to round that out. I think it's all trial and error and done by taste. So,
well, there's your answer, Gandy.
Well,
lots of practice.
Yeah. Well,
he had lots of practice.
When we were blending the Judge Batch 5, we had 46 barrels that we were going through,
and we went down to 15.
and we got tried to whittle it down to 15.
But,
I mean, it was.
But
it
when we
was
tried them by themselves, they were different than when they are.
They were,
blended,
they were.
That being said,
but I mean,
yes.
it is quite a task for sure.
So Gandy, yes, you never know when to stop. I think he joined this. There was this blending contest on another channel. I ain't kidding you, Jonathan. And I swear to God, and I still have it.
We won it, didn't we?
And yeah, that's not the one we won. This is Gandy's. And I'm not trying to get off topic here, but I'm gonna tell you, this boy spent like 40 different freaking ways of blending it, and probably a week or two and he still didn't win, which tells you, it actually pretty good. To be honest, I had this last week. It actually is pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, yeah. So cheers to the master blenders out there, because I think it's definitely an art form. You got to have a fine touch to it. Either you have it or you don't, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's something that it can all the way be taught. It's just one of those things that you had to have a knack for, right? So that's kind of how I feel about master blenders. I think it's a lot tougher than, no offense, than master distillers.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to. I mean, is it really taught, or is it just a feel,
right.
A taste? I mean, it's something. It's
sure.
It's your palate. Does other people enjoy your palate? And I don't envy you. I mean, I do envy you. I mean, it's not easy.
Fred Minnick talked about this on a podcast about a year and a half ago. He talked about the difference between being a master blender and a master distiller. He said, look, anybody could learn to become a master distiller, right? Like learning to be a doctor. If you put the time in, you study, you could learn how to distill. It's the same basic principle. Yeah. He goes, but to truly blend, and understand that and get it right every time, and just exciting and well balanced. He's like, it's a God-given talent that you have to hone in. I mean, again, I've been studying wine since I was, I don't know, 18, 19, probably give or take, we'll say. But like when I was studying for the sommelier certification, they used to make us go to the grocery store and smell produce, smell spices, smell seasoning, because everything is sensory recall. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know, I talk about stuff all the time, and people either look at you like you're crazy, or they're like, oh, I get it. Like minerality in wine. And my example always is, if you were playing miniature golf, right? I live here in the South where it's super hot. You're one of those limestone caves, and you smell that water coming over and hitting that rock, right? That minerality, like that aroma, like that's minerality to me. And people either know exactly what I mean, and they're like, how much have you had to drink? I have no idea what you're talking about. But it's so subjective too, right? What's sweet or spicy or proof. I mean, it's kind of what's fun about this journey is, as you trust Jennifer and I and what we're doing with the whiskeys, makes you feel confident about buying our releases because you believe in us.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We do trust your product.
Absolutely.
Especially when you hear from other people too, to envy and vindicate as far as what you guys are doing. I think that I'm still going back to my very first question to you when we first started this interview, is the fact that you're only a few years old, but yet so many people have gotten to know who you are as far as your brand. I can't wait to see what's ahead of you guys 5 years, 10 years from now. I think, I called you like the micro Bardstown. I think you'll be the Bardstown down the road, before too long. We're excited about your product. We appreciate you coming on. I would definitely want to have you back on for any kind of future releases.
I definitely want to talk about that rye. I'm a big rye fan, and I want to learn more about that.
Well, I really appreciate you guys reaching out, being excited about what we do. I love to tell the story. It's a brand of passion. Something else I'm really proud of. We don't have any outside investors. There's no outside money. It's just my wife and I, and it was very important to me and to her that we have total control over the company because, obviously we've won a ton of awards the last 2 years. The brand has got a lot of traction, a lot of excitement. Yeah. And people are like, well, how can we not expand to more states? I'm like, well, I can only taste so much, and her and I can only blind taste, and I can only blend so much at a time. Yeah. And I don't know yet what my capacity is on barrels, right? It could be 12 barrels, it could be 20. I really don't know until I get there. And we are just not willing to sacrifice the quality of our products to be in more markets. And we don't want somebody telling us like, hey, you can use younger whiskey, you can blend faster, you can be in more states, you can make a lot more money. Because again, we're we're a husband and wife that love whiskey and really want something special for our consumers to enjoy and appreciate. So us going into Indiana and Texas is a big deal. I don't expect us to have any more growth, for this year. That'll be 8 states and a couple of online retailers. So if you live in Indiana, be on the lookout for where K.Luke will be released. If you're in Texas, pretty much going to just start out at specs because, Texas is such a huge market. And I told them, I said, look, we can only go to Texas. We can only send you what we can send you. I know it's not enough to meet the demand by a small fraction. I think there's like 25,000 accounts in Texas between restaurants and retail stores. So,
wow.
But be looking for us if you live in Texas at specs in the next couple of weeks as product releases. If you're in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Kentucky, Wyoming, you can find our stuff. But be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, our website. We have a lot of requests, for K.Luke merchandise on our website now. We do have a whole variety of merchandise, Glencairns and Kenzie glasses, hats, polo shirts, barrel heads, flight boards. So if you go to KLukeWhiskeyCompany.com, you can see all that, and new batches coming and everything going on great in the world of whiskey. So
awesome. Very good. All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming on, and we'll have you on again for future releases, and we can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, very much appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Well, cheers. Appreciate you letting what you do.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, man. See
ya.
Wow.
That's good. Really good.
K.Luke
They were good before we got. I mean, we knew who they were, so there was no surprises tonight. It was just more validation.
Well, that, and we did have a couple of viewers request that we try and get K.Luke, and
sure,
that's what we do. We reach out.
So, guys, those who are newer that are watching, we do this every Thursday. We have a distiller on or owner, somewhat in the whiskey business, whether it's themselves or magazine editor, whoever that is.
Right.
They'll come on.
Yeah.
But this is what we do every Thursday, 8 o'clock. But you guys in chat, again, Jeff got his book over there. If you guys have suggestions, he does write these things down, and he does contact them.
Yep.
For those who want other people to get on this show, by all means, put it in the comments, and Jeff will go after them, whether or not they'll appreciate it or not.
Yeah, I did some talking today to Mammoth. So Mammoth Distilling, working on getting a date set for them right now. So
all right, so very good. So hashtag K.Luke. We're gonna run this thing here in a minute, and then I want to thank everybody through Super Chat. We have a premium Super Chat going on tonight, which is the Russell's 1315 and the JD 12.
Right, which we're going to blind here in a minute.
Yeah, if you want to get that set up, I want to thank everybody first of all. Thank you, David Volgesing. You get 4 Super Chats for entering tonight. I appreciate that. Tammy Adams, thank you for your donation. I always appreciate that. Yes, Gandhi, we always love K.Luke, and I appreciate your Super Chat as well. Patrick Littledew, appreciate you. Thanks for your donation. It all goes to the channel, guys. It just enhances, like, for instance, well, we got a new camera the other day. Yep. And Jeff, you see him Tuesday. He was like a kid in the candy store. Go ahead, show him what you do now.
See, now we can take you a bottle and you can, and
it's not new technology, but he's happy because now he can do something more than he's got to get up for it now.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the legs and, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. All right, settle down there, buddy. So anyways, I appreciate you guys supporting the channel because it makes Jeff happy. So David Tanko, thank you very much. I appreciate you for donating to the channel. Mr. Bortner, yes, batch 4, 100 proof. Nice. I got another flight going out tonight. I'll announce that in a minute. I got a text from Charles the Rye guy. I'm going to announce that here in a second.
Nice.
Shauna Carr, thank you for, we'll spin for it. Okay, very good. So we'll do that. Cheers to fast food. I'm not sure what happened to that.
Fast food.
That must have been a connection to maybe a chat comment or something.
No.
Yes. Dude, I'm sorry. How many times do you think I hit you?
I don't know. It's more than I would want you to.
Well, probably 0 would be nice, right? Yeah, Super Foodie. Yes, we're going to do a food race. You're exactly right. Tyler Patterson, Stan Sabat, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Shauna, we love you guys, and we're gonna have you guys on 2 weeks. We're gonna get a lot of, or at least I'm gonna get a lot of Cast 529 in the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just saying. So yes, Tyler Patterson, thank you very much. Stan, thank you very much. Snow Baboon, thank you very much. Mr. Keith Glenn, thank you for donating to the channel as well. Miss Tanko, yes, happy 4th of July to everybody out there. Hopefully, a lot of you guys had the day off tomorrow. Hopefully, that way you guys can kind of enjoy the evening. So appreciate that. What are you doing?
I'm getting a marker.
There's a marker back here.
There we go.
Oh,
Very good.
all right. So, all right, yes. So, Alan Adams, thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. Yes, you can never have too many samples. So, yes. Crappy Cat, thank you very much. Mr. Richie J, I appreciate that as well for the donations. Husky Dog, thank you for the donation to the channel. Appreciate you guys. And yes, if you guys could, Charles the Right Guy, brings up a pretty good point. Obviously, hit that like button if you don't mind. And join our Patreon, which brings me to my little subject matter here. I will get to the rest of you guys, but when I see something, I want to get it out of my head. The next poker party is July 14th.
Yep.
The last 2 winners was Charles the Rye Guy and Keith Glandon. They are our last 2 champs.
I will not be on that. I will be in Florida that week.
Last time I checked, the internet works there.
Well, yeah, I guess it does. Unless I'm sitting at the bar.
You can't still?
I probably could.
From the app. You don't need to be on the Google Meets.
I probably could.
You can't win anyways.
That's true. Right. So what am I worried about?
Okay. All right. So anyways, yes, thank you, Charles the Right Guy. And Patreon. Part of one of our perks on the Patreon, we have a poker party or poker tournament every Monday or every other Monday at 8 o'clock. We do it through Google Meets. We're getting better at it. We tweak it every time. And hopefully in about a month or so, we'll perfect it at some point. All right, Stan, thanks for donating to the channel. Appreciate you. Lip Service Crew, thank you for donating to Super Chat. And oh my God, he's looking down. I'm not gonna, don't look up, Jeff. Go ahead and read it.
Where?
What Mr. Shank said. It's right there, blind person.
I need some more close-ups. Oh, all right. All right. Well, we can work on that. I was looking over here, not over there.
Oh, okay. So anyhow. So yes, thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview because I sure did.
Now, question: how you want to do this? I've got 13 and 15. We're gonna do all 4 of these on here, or just
you pour enough, and then we put them in our own little blinds, in our own little glasses.
Okay, so like this will be there's 13, right? And then I do a glass for 15.
Yeah, each one represents its own thing, but you got to put enough in it for both of us.
Right. Okay. So you want to do all 4? All right. I got you.
I just want blinded.
All right. We're good. Just want to understand what you're thinking.
I don't know what I'm thinking half the time.
I don't know either. But...
So, anywho, all right. So, while Jeff does that, we're going to do the drawing. We're going to do 2 drawings, by the way, guys. Courtesy of Charles the Rye Guy. On one of them. So, all right, let's get to it. Let me catch up with the comments, see if there's anything I need to mention. Hello, whoever joined. A lot of you guys, during the interview, I try not to break the cadence.
And welcome to everybody from Facebook. Thanks for coming on over tonight.
Yeah, we got a lot of Facebookers tonight. Appreciate you guys coming on. I'll be honest with you, especially TikTokers too. The best way to really get the full experience is to come on YouTube. And that way you can play into these games and all that and play into the comments and things of that nature. So, all right, let's do a share screen and let's do the K.Luke. Share screen. Giveaway. K.Luke, we got 34 entries. I'm going to give it about, 15 seconds. And then we're going to run it. So if anybody wants to be that last guy who usually has a closer karma.
And just... for those of you that don't know, every month we release our calendar, and I post it on all of our socials, TikTok, Facebook, all of them, our channel on YouTube, and it gives you every what we have every Thursday night.
Oh, monthly.
The monthly calendar, right?
Yeah.
So July is up. Obviously, tonight's the first night of July. We have K.Luke. Next week, we've got Hartfield and Company. Then the following week is going to be Cask 529. And I will not be here for that, unfortunately.
That is very unfortunate.
Yes, it is. But I mean, we've got a lineup for you guys through the end of September. We're working on October. I'm trying.
But then we're going to start. Believe it or not, we're going to start getting the 2025 awards.
Yes, I'm starting to plan around the festivals. We got the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Yeah, we
got
got some room for that.
We've got our event down in on the week after October 11th. We'll be down there with Stephen Beam, the Big Bourbon Club.
I don't know these things.
Yeah. So
all right, let's spin this thing. Here we go. The K.Luke sample pack, including the Cask 529. Watch Cask 529 win it. Goes to Gandy. There's a shocker.
What is this now?
He wins the
K.Luke sample pack.
Yeah. He's the big. He's one of their biggest fans.
All right. So Gandy wins that.
That was almost like, it was destined to do that. Congratulations, Gandy.
Yes, congrats.
So I will remove Gandy from this. How can I? I thought I did. Oh no, we're just going to.
This isn't a Patreon. You don't have to worry about it.
No, you're not understanding what I'm doing.
I know I don't.
Hashtag.
You got
right. Hold on. Hashtag Rye Guy. So let's do hashtag Rye Guy in honor of, Charles giving away samples. Charles, did you want to put in there exactly if you know what you're going to give away? Put there in chat. I appreciate you and everything that you do. You know what's funny? Charles himself does hashtag Rye Guy and he wins.
Really?
No, I'm saying that would be funny.
I don't know if
it's going to be a 6 sample Jim Beam flight. Really?
Nice. I don't know if 21090 is still on, but hey guys, appreciate you coming on tonight. And if you aren't aware, it is Rock the Rick House, the July 19th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Up in Maryland. Wish we could go, but it will be a great event for sure.
Yeah, so 6 samples of Jim Beam. That's 2 more than what we give out. So kudos to you, Right Guy, and I appreciate it. He's our. You know what? We're gonna call him for what he is. He's our executive producer. We had a shit show supervisor.
Yeah.
Now we have an executive producer.
Yep.
That is some dark whiskey, dude. I wasn't even paying attention. Holy crap!
It is dark.
That is very dark. Holy crap, that is dark. All right, we're going to give it a second here. Let everybody put in hashtag Rye Guy. All right, we're going to spin it. Here we go. And happy 4th of July to everybody, by the way. Hope a lot of you guys are off tomorrow. You spend it with your family. Husky Dog. All right.
So Husky Dog
wins that.
And I assume, Rye Guy, you'll be handling that, getting the shipment to him.
Correct. But if you need help on the address, let us know because we do have it. So.
All right.
Let me, Jeff, if you could keep people entertained for a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to get the super chat.
All right. Hey, I'm trying. Okay. So what we have here is we have Russell's 13, Russell's 15, Jack 12, Jack 14, I think. They're all labeled. So 12 through 15, right there. Where are we at?
Yeah. 13, 15, 12, and 4.
All right. So we're going to blind these tonight. Cover them up. And if you're not familiar with what this is the solo blind, and I don't even know if they sell these anymore. You know?
He comes in and out on stock.
Yeah.
So if you just hashtag or you just Google like solo blind, I think it will come up. He's got a weird internet web address.
Yeah.
It's not even .com. Yes, Charles, I will send you Husky Dog's address.
All right, let me get these out of the way.
Where'd you go? You're supposed to be entertaining people.
I know. I'm trying to get stuff out of the way.
Well, I'm just saying I can't do 3 things at once.
There. All right. Yeah, so as we were talking earlier, this Saturday, there will be another video release of our bourbons of the year so far. I think we had 8 or 9 that we selected so far, and that's based on us sitting here, you know, when we taste and sample and we like and we hit the bell. Or we didn't have any bourbon brawls yet that have made the cut.
Oh, we changed the bourbon brawl rules, by the way.
Yeah.
Just because we can.
Yeah, and that we haven't really had anybody make that threshold cut.
No,
yet.
we're gonna have the best of the bourbon brawl
Yeah.
awards at the end of the year. We were talking about that this evening.
So we'll have the best of the bourbons so far this year, and then we'll have the best of the rye. That'll be released, I think, Monday morning, maybe. And then the other thing we're going to do at the end of the year, we're not going to do it right now, is going to do the worst bourbons of the year.
That will kick off our award season.
Yeah.
That'll kick off probably in November.
Yep.
We were talking about that tonight.
Yeah, we're trying to work around. What we're going to do is what we did last year is we are going to record the preliminary rounds as we go through the 16 bottle bracket. And then when we get down to the final 4, like we did last year, we will go live. And we're kicking around selecting a Patreon member that will be able to blind the final 4 with us and be on the show
and help us choose the 2025 bourbon of the year.
The bourbon of the year.
That will be part of our Patreon drawing. We haven't figured out how we're going to do it yet, but we've always said it, guys. This is your channel more than it is ours. We just flip on the lights. So we want a Patreon to join us in the bourbon of the year choosing. So that will be part of a drawing somehow, some way. We haven't figured it all the way out, but we decided that whatever we do, it's going to include you guys to help us choose the bourbon of the year.
Right. So that Patreon member winner will get the 4 blinds, the 4 samples that we will have for our final 4. And again, we'll blind everything and we'll pick our favorite of the year.
Yeah, and they'll have influence on who actually wins.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty cool. And
we're
trying to get better.
Yep. And if you're not familiar with how, go to the Patreon site. It's Bourbon and Ballz 2024. I can't remember.
What?
Is it Bourbon and Ballz?
Charles the right guy put it in there.
Okay, great. Yeah. $5 minimum get you into the poker opportunities every other week, and get you into the special monthly drawings for the Patreons.
The monthly draw, yeah, and then you'll get extra drawings come football time.
Right.
We haven't done that in a while, but when football season, we do fantasy football, and you actually get extra entries.
Right.
We'll do like quarterbacks. When we get closer, we'll announce it.
Yeah.
We'll do team of the week, things like that.
Yep.
But yeah. So, all right. I want to go through.
Did I entertain enough?
Yes, you did. So, all right. How are we doing this?
All right. Well, like I said, I've got Jack Daniels 12 and 14, Russell's 13 and 15. Got them in a glass. We're going to spin it. And
Wait a minute. We got all 4 of them in there.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll
do I need glasses, or are you going to give me the glasses?
I've already given you a glass right here.
Oh, okay.
There's 2. We'll get 2 more when we get them.
We don't have our blinding sheets.
They're in the drawer right now, so we'll have to.
I'll get them.
Okay. Let's see. We get 2 more glasses up there.
Time is at 9:30.
Yeah.
No, And nothing. Remember I told you?
Yep. All right. Let's see here.
There you go.
All right. So we got our scoring sheets. All right.
All right, here we go.
So let's give this puppy a spin. And pull the lid.
All right, let's do this.
Now.
So pour half of that in one glass.
There we go. We don't know what this is. There we go. There's the.
Do you know which way you
placeholder.
put it in? Or which side? Did you write it on?
Yeah, I wrote it on.
I'm not asking that. Did you know what side? Well, if I pull it up right now, am I going to see it? Or is it on the
I
other
don't
side?
recall. I don't recall.
The reason I'm asking is I was going to put the plates here upside down.
Oh,
But you don't even know, you don't know
I
that.
don't recall.
So how are we going to do this?
We're going to rate it, score it, and we'll pull the number.
Okay.
Isn't that what we're going to do?
Sure.
Pick our favorite?
Well, yeah.
So we'll just pull this one right. Well, we want to do that right now?
No, we're not. It's
Okay.
blind, doofus. That's the whole point.
All right.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh,
This has got to be a Jack Daniels.
ooh, I don't know about that.
I'm just saying. I don't like guessing, but holy Moses.
That is a whew, that is a butterscotch cherry, almost toasted marshmallow. All right.
I already gave my score. We're gonna fly through these, by the way, because we vowed to be alpha here by 10 o'clock.
Ooh.
Good night, Irene. Okay.
All right.
Oh. Okay.
So will we pull that or not? Nope.
No.
Okay. So let's go on to this one.
Well, that's my question. How are we gonna know to go back to that? Which one goes to this? You know what I'm saying? Give me this. Don't look.
All right. Next. Here.
Sure.
There you go.
Oh, and by the way, we're gonna do some Google Meets
Yes.
because we don't have to work tomorrow, and we'll host it. We'll put up Google. I can figure out how to do that again, but yes, we will. It's a little tamer,
Yeah.
but yet more well-rounded. It's not as pungent.
It's not as ethanol.
Correct.
This was a little ethanol forward.
Ethanol, but it's pretty smooth. I think this is Russell's. I say that because I don't get the marshmallow confectionery kind of thing. This is more a quintessential bourbon, Kentucky bourbon. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's a Jack.
No.
Okay. Okay.
That was good though.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about great, but it was good. Very good.
All right. Here we
Dare
go.
I ask, did you like A or B so far?
So far, I like A.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Next, what do you want to take?
Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta be honest with you. Like I'm looking at the tag. As long as I see writing on it, I flip it over. I can't. I'm not like staring at it and see what it is.
Okay.
Furthermore, I'll take my glasses off. Oh. Holy shit! This is the best smell yet.
This is 15. This is Russell's 15.
No, it's not, Beavis.
No, I bet you it is.
No, this is 14, Jack.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, it is. There's no way.
I don't think so. I think this is the Russell's 15 right here.
All right, I think you're right with the taste. I think it's the Russell's. This is good. This is great.
Okay. Final. Oh man, that came back to bite. Whoo! Final pour. Oh, better pull your tag.
Oh. Okay.
All right, here we go. Final one. Got to be even because he gets butt hurt.
This is Jack Daniels.
This is Jack.
Yeah, it's marshmallowy.
Mm.
Hold on. Yeah.
Mm.
I already know my number one is. I'm 2 through 4 is.
All right. Well, my number one. I got the third one.
Yeah, me
C.
too.
I
my number one.
scored an 88.
Okay. That's my number one.
I think that's Russell's 15. My next one was the first one.
Yep, me too. Good job.
I scored an 87.
Not good job. It's not like you and I have the same answer so far.
I got an 87 on that one.
Okay.
I think that is also the Russells. I think that might be the
I think that's
13.
Jack.
I think that's Russell's 13. My third best one was the last one.
Okay, this is where you and I go differently.
Okay, so I think that might be in Jack 14.
I wrote down Jack 14 as well.
And then obviously the last one.
Okay, so our third and fourth are different.
Okay,
They're flip flopped, but
okay.
we both agree on 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do we have for number one? What's your tag over there say?
Well, let's go backwards. Let's go 3 and 4 first.
Okay.
3 and 4. Number 4 was Russell's. Is that what is it? Russell's 13?
Number 4, yes.
Is that what this is?
That's 13, yes.
So this is Russell's 13 was my last,
Okay, well,
which is the fourth one.
yeah, 14. So
that was your third.
Yep. No. My fourth one.
Was your third place.
Yeah, so that's JD 13. Or no, Russell's 13.
Holy fuck.
Russell's 13. All right. Okay, so
That's your third place.
yes.
I know that.
Okay. And that was your
Fourth place.
okay.
May I move on?
Move on. This shit
All right.
get confusing.
It's not for me. I'm good.
I'm confused.
The second one that we tasted was my third and your fourth.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes.
All right. And that is what is this?
Turn it over.
Did you not mark it? What is this?
Here it is. This is 14. That's Jack. That's 14. That was,
Where?
I just marked it off. That was 14.
It says 13.
I know, but you had it's backwards because that was.
How's
13,
this backwards?
Because that's 13.
Why?
Because
This says 13, guys. And you're saying this is Jack 14?
14 was on the other side.
Why don't you write Jack Daniels 14? Why are you writing numbers?
Because we had 12, 13, 14, and 15.
You can't write Jack Daniels 14, JD 14.
Well, it would have been Jack Daniels 14 or
But why would you? Guys, I'm telling you, I love this camera now. Let me show you this bullshit. This MFer, this is 13. And for some reason, he's telling me this is Jack 14. That is a crock of shit.
because 14 was written here.
Oh my God. No, it wasn't. Oh my, this blind is so jacked up. We can't even do a blind right.
What's the first
Who
class?
fuck knows?
Well, just check it.
I'm so past this now. Jesus Christ Almighty. This is 12. Jack
That's
12.
Jack 12 was the first one.
Are you sure it's not
Yeah.
Russell's 18?
I'm sure. There is no Russell's 18.
I'm just making that shit
I
up
know.
because the way this night's going.
So what's the C?
C, you mean B?
That one.
Wow. We can't even do a blind right.
That's
Russell's
15.
15.
And that's what I said it was. Russell's 15. And that was our number one.
I don't understand what just happened.
Russell's 15 was our number 1. Jack Daniel's 12 was our number 2. Jack Daniel's.
I don't. I
Yep.
don't.
There it is. That's it right there.
Dude, I don't understand what just happened.
I'm telling you right now. Here it is right here.
No.
I got to figure it out.
No, you don't.
The first one is Russell's 13. Or
First one?
Sorry. Jack Daniel's 12 was the first pour. Jack Daniel's 12. You just turned it over.
Keep going.
The second one was hang on.
Dude.
Yeah.
Get with the program.
Right. So the last one here
No,
was,
why are you skipping around? You just said the second one and then the last one.
Russell's 13.
What are you
12,
doing skipping around?
15, 14. Yeah. So A was 13, which is Russell's 13. B was Jack Daniel's 12.
You guys can't.
C was Russell 15.
You can't even make this shit up.
Either way, Russell's 15 was both our favorite.
Oh my God. I can't wait to get off this thing.
Russell's 15 was our favorite.
That is true, but we don't even know what 2, 3, and 4
I just
is.
told you what it
No,
was.
you didn't.
I just did. Yeah. 14 was our
No, I don't believe you.
13. Yeah.
Yes. You know what? Fresh may be in all the classes. You know what? It is hashtag trainer. Dude, we can't even do a regular blind.
That's why I was wondering. It was confusing as hell when we had
No,
all four of
all
them.
you gotta do is label the tags correctly. You
did.
can't. No, you didn't. You told me 13 meant Jack 14.
Because 14 was on the other side.
Oh, holy fuck!
It was. See,
Then why was 13 on the other side?
because it was from another blind that we
Then
had.
why would you wipe that off?
I didn't look at the other side.
Holy food, man! I swear to God, this place. We have no. Don't watch us anymore. I swear to God, we are horrible. We are the worst bourbon channel on the face of this earth.
You're all butt hurt again.
No, you can't. You're labeling 13 as a Jack 14.
The Jack 14 was on the other side.
Who's on first?
That was 14, which is number 4.
Who was on? Yeah, thank you, Alan Allen. Who's on first and what's on? Exactly. That's what this show's all about.
Yeah. But our favorite of the blind was Russell's 15.
Okay, we at least agree on that.
We
But
agree
I
on
would
that.
like to know, and so the viewers would like to know, what came in second, third, and fourth. We can't even determine that because
can
the
tell
whole
you.
thing's upside down.
Russell's 13 came in second
To you.
to the number. Third was Jack Daniel's 14, and last was Jack Daniel's 12.
All right, we're doing the foodie race.
Can I ask a question?
I'm beyond.
Yes.
Is this supposed to be on?
No.
For looks.
I don't even know if we're on half the time. What am I doing now? I've lost my train of thought.
I don't know what you're doing
I'm in the foodie
Doing
race.
the
What is
foodie
that?
race
Duck
for-
race?
for the
Super chats.
super chats. He's in rare form tonight, man.
No. I'm just saying we can't even do a simple 4 blind.
I'm telling you, we did.
No, we did not. That was a total wreck.
Remember, this is how it was at our first couple of tastings.
Yeah, I remember.
It's all wrong. You're
I know.
wrong.
Yeah.
No, what you don't understand, Erica from upstairs, what you don't understand, he writes down, the tag says 13. He's like, oh, no, that's Jack 14. I don't get it, dude.
He knows what he's doing.
I knew.
No. He can't even, his math is, chat will tell you correctly, his math is off. He's got engineering math, and it's way off.
Engineering math. He doesn't have.
Either way, we both agreed
No,
Russell's 15 was best.
I would like to know what the rest of them were like, but I don't even know that.
I have it written right here.
No.
Oh, happy day.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. Talk to the crowd so I can.
I don't know what the fuck to say. Yeah, except
Whatever he says, don't believe him because it ain't true. I'm telling you. Oh, I don't have words to what just happened.
I do.
Oh yeah, really? What do you
Mhm.
what would you say?
Number 1 was Russell's 15. Number 2 was Russell's 13. Number 3 was Jack 14. And number 4 was Jack 12. It was C,
I don't believe you anymore.
A, D, B.
I am so done with this.
You guys have a lot of samples.
Oh, silly Yorkie. I will add you to the list. Thank you for the last. I know we have a lot of samples.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes, we do. We're trying to get to them.
Oh,
What the heck is this?
You didn't save your list.
Yes, I did, numbskull.
Then why ain't the list there?
I swear I'm going to punch you live on TV.
Come on. Come on.
I'm a kid. You're going to see some violence here in a second. This is just absolutely.
Oh, let's go.
This is absolutely
there's
just.
no need for a horse race. You got a horse show.
Yeah, when we place bets on that.
Why are you retyping?
Why don't you just. Oh. I'm going to mute this. And I'm going to tell you how I really feel.
Oh, this is a cool bottle. Heaven's Door.
Yes.
Yes, that's a Bob Dylan thing.
Yep.
Cool bottle.
Not my favorite, though.
Oh, I like it.
I haven't been able to get into
You
Heaven's
should
Door.
put it in a blind and then relabel it.
Oh, don't worry about it because we won't even taste the right one. Jeff can't do a freaking 4-person blind correctly.
Well, you don't have 4 people down here.
That dude, you got one job. Okay, you got many jobs to do on this.
You got one damn job.
Mhm.
All right. Why is this? That's wrong. What is going on tonight?
I don't know. There's fireworks.
No, hold on here. Why is this?
Check your list.
Huh?
Where's your list? Now copy all your names.
You know what, numbnuts? I've already done this, and then you're gonna find out what it does to me.
Okay.
Does it make you twitch?
Say done.
He makes me twitch. It says 6. Why is it 6? Because we're not logged in correctly. Bourbon and Ballz.
Shit show continues.
Yeah.
If you were on Tuesday night, you realize we logged off before we gave anything away.
We did. We did.
He's ready to just bum rush everybody off. All right, we're out of here. See ya. Oh shit, we forgot to give it away.
Why isn't my password working? There we go. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I sincerely apologize for this wreck of a show. What time is it? We got 10 minutes. We gotta get off of here. Log out. What is that?
It's your dog.
Oh my god.
Cheers, everybody. Happy 4th of July.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem.
Anybody grilling out?
Hold on. We seriously got a problem. You don't understand how big of a problem we have right now.
You've got 10 freaking windows open here.
Okay, I'm about to lose my shit. You don't understand the problem we have right now. It only allows me to do 6 names right now. So do you want to take over this? Have at it, dude.
You're joining promotion, or you want to log in.
All right, I'm done. You do it. You do it. You do it. You do it. Do it. You're gonna find out real freaking quickly that this thing only does 6 names, and I'm trying to upgrade the thing because it expired. But you get there and you tell me. Dude, I'm like 5 steps ahead of you.
Where's your code? It's telling you
Is
that.
this the code right here?
Right there's the code right there in numbskull.
Hey, where do you put that?
Up your
Right here.
ass.
You put it right
Oh, okay.
801998.
998.
Yeah. And then
That's great. You're where I was already at. You're where I'm at. You're about 5 minutes behind me. And you're not listening to me.
Where's the food?
Right there, dude. You're gonna be sorely mistaken here in about 2 seconds. I said it's only 6 names allowed. Are you listening?
Well, listen.
But you're still gonna do exactly what I just did.
It says enter up to 6 names.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Why?
That's what I've been telling you the last umpteen minutes.
Why?
Because we got to go to our account.
You have to
Yes.
renew.
The account has expired.
I'd love to see what's on the chat right now.
I can't even imagine what's in it. I don't have my wallet on me. Do you have your wallet on me? I need your credit card number. I swear to God, I can't even see. I don't even imagine what chat is saying right now. I can only imagine if even people are even on. I'm gonna read your freaking number on fucking line.
Oh, you do that?
No.
Yeah. Well, you do that. You see what's in the upper left-hand side of that card, right?
Oh, I can't believe this is happening.
Can't they see this?
No. Oh.
No.
They can't. Shoot.
Oh, hell.
Good call. This is your credit card? Okay. How do you spell your last name?
Really?
Hold on.
He's only been dating like
Yeah, I know. We've been together for how long?
Can I have your mobile number, please?
You don't have my mobile.
Dude, I'm gonna lose my shit.
513
Okay.
535 3689.
I love how you just told everybody.
Yeah, I know.
You can't make this up, guys.
isn't it BALZ?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, what did I do?
BALS.
Oh,
It takes 3 people to renew your account.
Oh, boy.
hold on, chat. I can't even imagine what you guys are saying right now. Log into premium. Log. Race timers. I haven't clicked on the other screen to see if anybody's even here. There could be 0 people in right now. Edit list. All right. Thank God.
5 to 1,000.
That's why I was trying to explain to you.
You could have done it a little differently.
Thank you, Erica, from upstairs.
Hey, people are still on.
Oh, my.
There's going to be a fist to the face.
Your race will make it all better. I love it.
Spin it, man.
So share the screen and roll that beautiful bean footage.
Oh my God. This is the worst show that we ever after the interview we've ever had. Where's your screen at? All right. Dave, you're down 4 times. Tammy, Gandy, Patrick, David, Michael, Shauna twice, Stan, Tyler, Baboon twice, Keith twice. I swear that's his name. Alicia, Alan, Mr. Richie J, Cappy, Crap,
Cat.
whatever, twice. Husky, Charles the Right Guy twice.
And one
Stan once. Lip service. John, Silly Yorkie.
But I like how Charlie the Rye Guy has a capital H in one of his names.
I don't know, man. I just work here.
You guys are awesome.
No, we're not. All right. All we need is Weller to come in and far between you two guys. Stan, you should be there twice. All right. See, that's why I do this.
So be on the lookout on LinkedIn and Monster and all the jobs market because we're looking for a shit show supervisor.
That was horrific. Stan, when you were on 2 different places? I got you there once.
Oh, do we have any Venmos? I haven't
Oh.
checked the Venmos.
Oh, you numbskull. Oh no, I missed them. I missed them. Hold on, after Shauna.
All right, let's see here. Do we have any Venmos?
Hold on. Stan, you're after. I'm sorry. Stan is after the Rye Guy again. Yeah, Stan, you're twice. You're on there twice.
Why? What's he under?
Stan Sabick and then Stan. You're on there twice. You
Okay.
are. It's just I put you in order in the way that you did it. So you're good.
Okay, I do not have any Venmos, so we are good there.
All right, we got Silly Yorkie and the last one. All right, please no more super chats right now. Set. We're gonna do 9.
Yeah.
What's your favorite number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me share it.
You don't know his last name, but you know his favorite number?
I
That's
do.
like a great
Yeah.
birthday.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. I want to see this.
There we go.
Come on.
Lip service cruise off
Lip
to the.
service.
What are you doing? There you are.
Well, it doesn't like it.
I did get the right guy. I got him 4 times.
All the cupcakes.
Yep, there he is.
Now in last place, and so is the pie. What do we have? Like a Thanksgiving meal coming and a sandwich and a hamburger.
It looks like a waffle.
Hey, Snow Baboon wants to know what the results of the blind champ. The results were. We have no idea.
Russell's
we still don't know.
15. Russell's 15 was the winner.
But we don't know who that. Oh, here's your credit card back.
Russell's
I should
15.
zoom on that, see if they can zoom in on the numbers with the camera.
Probably. Russell's 15 was number 1. Number 2
You
was
did a show with no sound that rocked.
This tops it. This takes the cake.
Russell 13 1. Russell's 15 1. Russell's 13 2. Jack Daniels 14 was 3, and Jack Daniels 12 was 4th.
Oh, we got a fruit salad.
So both
Fruit salad
Russells were
coming.
good for me.
Yes, 1 and 2 was Russell's, and Russell's 15, and then Russell's.
All right,
13.
here we go. 10 seconds left. Let's see who wins.
Oh, I think it's gonna be the sandwich.
Oh,
It's going to be the wiener.
Oh, look at
Husky
that.
dog.
Husky's coming.
Look at that. Look at that. Play by play. Husky dog. He wins.
Damn Husky!
Husky, you win all those premium samples.
Nice.
Wow.
After
You know
all the shit.
Look at that. Sean and I need new friends. I don't blame you. I need new friends. That was horrible.
Look at that. The big hot dog one.
Husky dog. Nice. So we got K.Luke. Hashtag K.Luke was Gandy, and Husky dog wins the premium pours. And then the Rye Guy had a sample pack that also went to the Husky dog. Boy, you had a good night, boy.
Where's Google Meet at? Let's just talk about this afterwards. I can't wait to hear
Lip
from
service
people.
is 10 minutes. I'll never get back.
No, you're right. You are so right.
Yep. And we had 34 people watch all that shit.
Wow.
Well, yeah, 34 plus. Sorry.
They probably muted us. 'Cause I'm telling you guys, God love you for even tuning in, because that was horrible.
No, Brian's got it right. We'll keep Erica. She knows what's up.
All day, every day.
Every day.
Every day. Uh-huh.
Oh, lip service, we're giving you a wrench because you deserve it. We're giving you a wrench. Heck yeah, we're giving you a wrench. There you go. You got a wrench.
But did they really watch?
Exactly. All right, guys. There's Google Meets up there. We're gonna put it in the Discord too, at the Cast 529 Discord. Holy Moses, that was putrid. That was the worst last half hour we've ever had on the show.
I want to see the bar fight.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, it's about to go down. I'm gonna put this up and share your channel. The Google Meets is in the share your channel part of the Burp or Cast 529. Here, I'll put it in both.
David Danko, I watched all the way to the scene of the crash.
Guys, we love you guys. We really do. And we don't.
You got to do the Patreon.
Oh, God.
Thank you, Stan. We almost did it again. Log it off and not even give it.
Hold on. All right. Do the Patreon. God bless Almighty.
Oh,
Thank God I already had that done.
I was about to say thank
Did
God
you?
Jeff's around, but
Yeah.
thank God you had it done.
You sure?
Yes, I already had it preloaded. Thank
All
God.
right.
It's right after the list of names.
You two need to pipe it down. I got everybody loaded, minus the previous month winner. If you donated more than $5 to the Patreon, you get more entries, just like Super Chat.
Mm-hmm.
And each winner will get taken away to any. And Johnny, what are they winning this month?
They're
Anna,
winning.
Tell us what's up.
They're
What are they
winning. This is the blind. What we just did tonight.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not numbskull. Look at this. Oh.
Oh,
So we are like Tweedledee and Tweedledum. This is a premium blind.
that's right. This is all right. That's right.
They're
This-
getting a premium blind, best of 2025 premium blind.
Right. So
We're going to email you
Yeah.
guys the answer key.
yes.
And if you're Alan Adams, you may not even get the right answer key. We're going to shuffle 9 times. That's what we do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just roll and get the F out of this channel.
So he used to tell this girl that we babysat.
The winner, hold on.
Rick Miller.
What did I ask you earlier?
Yeah.
We don't even know who he is.
I think we do, but
We
I think
Does he work with you?
no.
Like he's
Rick
in chat
Miller.
under a different name?
I think so. Yes.
I'm not quite sure how to help you.
Oh my God, Alexa, what the hell?
She wants to chime in too.
Alexa's chiming in now. I
Rick.
think this is going to go under unclaimed funds.
I don't know. Rick Miller. We have. I don't know if we have your information.
Who? Like, is he underneath a different name?
I think he is. I don't recall what his name is.
Well, it's Rick Miller.
Yeah, but we got his information from the account from Patreon.
Well, congratulations, Rick Miller.
Yes, congrats, Rick.
Yes, congratulations, Rick Miller. All right, guys, I am just so apologetic and so glad that you guys stayed with us. I don't know why you did, but God, that was fun.
Have a happy 4th of July.
Yes.
Yep, and if we do have the meetup link out there on Patreon.
Yeah, there's a few people already coming in. So,
All right,
it's in the Patreon. Those who want to join, we'll be on for a little while. We don't have to work
the
tomorrow.
Discord. Sorry.
Discord. So yes,
Yep. Great night. K.Luke was great.
great. Then
Yeah.
it went off the rails after that.
A typical shit show.
No, this is not typical
Oh,
tonight.
you know.
All right, guys.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.
All right, we'll see you.
Cheers.